What's going on, everybody? We're back. We got another one of those sweet like combo live before locks. We're gonna get things started with some baseball. In about an hour or so, we'll pivot. We'll talk some hoops and get you ready for the weekend. But we're locking in for some MLB, and we brought on a guest. We've got Nate, Mr. SlimFish, joining us today from the Digital Dugout. Man, how are we doing?
Hey, Mike, it's good to be here, man. Appreciate you having me on. Haven't done a live stream yet this year, so good to shake the rust off with you here.
There we go. Well, I appreciate you joining. You've now joined the illustrious list of guests that include Aaron Borland and Mr. Jumpshoot himself. So you're in good company. And then in your honor too, we'll fire off a little giveaway here for the people in the chat. So if you like the stream, subscribe to the channel, put hashtag Digital Dugout. We'll give you a little in-season card. We'll throw that in there at the end. So fire that in there. And if you want to check out some of SlimFish's content, you can find the links in the show notes. Go check those out. Give them some support. But enough of that, man. How's the Sorare MLB season been treating you thus far?
You know what? I kind of slow played it a little bit to see how things shook out. I got in early and often last year, and it was a mixed bag. But so I slow played it a little bit, but overall, I think that there are some really good changes that have been implemented this year. Sorare comes with growing pains, as we've all learned for anybody that's been here long enough. But I think that we're seeing some things that make sense in terms of longevity. For me, the big question is seeing the same format year over year, and I'm going to be hesitant until I see that. So I need to see what we have this year again next year. But I'm bought in. I'm back in the in-season champ grind. I've had, I think that the new Essence format is a lot of fun. I think that crafting is drastically improved, which that was what a lot of the people from the soccer and baseball side were saying it was going to be, which I agree with. I'm having fun.
Yeah, I think that the crafting stuff has been nice. I have enjoyed that pivot a little bit this year, and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I always say I'm going to go in light and then like wait a couple of weeks, and then I always end up splurging early on, and then I got bailed out by shipping one of the early ones. So now it's house money. Now it's house money, and I felt bad because it was our guy Windy City Assassin, it might be in the chat right now, was sitting in first the whole time, and I knew I was like sweating that out, and I was like, oh, I'm only a couple points back, and then I looked and it was him that I was chasing down, so I felt a little guilty, but he still walked away with $1,000, so you can shut up.
Shout out also, sorry, real quick, shout out to Machine Dean, another Digital Dugout member who just took down Champ last night. So big win there. And then a fourth place finish for Aethers, who had been sitting on the podium for a bit. Tough luck bounce there.
There we go.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I definitely came back to earth this game week. I feel like I was flying high, constantly accumulating some cash each game week to start the season. And then this past week, I mean, I've kept some streaks alive, which is fun, which I think we'll talk about here in a second. But I don't know if it was just because it was so high scoring and I had the cards in the wrong place. I know our guy Borland, he kept his streak going. And if he had put that contest in the actual champion lineup, the in season, he would have probably taken it down. But yeah, did you have a decent game week this past week?
I ended up with I got 10 cash on Champ in a lineup that had Crochet in it. So that's a big, what could have happened there? I put up 297 with a negative.
You could have just not played a pitcher.
Yeah. So that could have been something more. But then I ended up taking down 6th place in limited challenger, which was 5,000 essence.
There you go.
And then I swept my second streak for another, 3K essence. So yeah, had some crafts today, nothing major, grabbed a Harper Mexico edition and a few others. But yeah, it was a good modest win of a game week.
There you go. Nice. So you mentioned the streaks. I know a couple of people have been talking about it in our Discord too. I know Borland, I mentioned him already. He's in the same spot. And I feel like this came up a lot in basketball where, but it's a little bit different in basketball because you're just looking for like one spike game from somebody. So you can still kind of get there in one game versus the cumulative scoring in baseball. So like only having 3 games this game week I still don't even know exactly how I'm going to approach it, but are you taking the pause approach here this game week? Because I know there's like a lot of teams next week with 4 games too. So are you going to pause this game week for the streaks?
Yeah, I think I'm going to, only because I'm on that 3rd streak now. So if you hit all 3 lineups, you're looking at 6K essence. So I could make an argument for just like over the course of the season, just setting those 3 lineups no matter what and just letting it play out. Because you skip, if you just play this week, you miss it, and then you're back in the mix for 1,000 essence on the 1st streak the following. So like you could really go any way you want with it, but with the lowered thresholds right now, I'm going to try and play it a little bit strategically.
Yeah.
Like you said, there are so many teams with 4 gamers next game week. So I'm going to hit pause on it. I'll go for streak 3 next game week and see what happens.
Yeah, I was thinking about it too. Especially because on the weekends where Sundays are always screwy lineups, where you'll see guys like studs sometimes get the day off on a Sunday, and so. But again, it's a push pull though too, because then if they play all 3 games this weekend, and then they walk into a 4-gamer next, like there's no way they're playing 7 consecutive games. So you really are just trying to pick. But I kind of lean that way too, where with that, if it was just like 2 teams that had 4 games this upcoming game week, maybe it'd be a different story. But with so many like good teams having 4 games, I do think it makes sense to do that. So yeah, let us know in the chat too if you are dealing with that, or if you're planning on. I'd love to hear a case for like you should play it this weekend.
Yeah. I think the only case for it would just be that if you skip this week and then you don't hit it next week, now you forfeited back-to-back weeks, whereas next week you probably have a pretty easy time hitting the 175. But like for the couple thousand essence that you're going to grab there, it's just not high enough upside to not pause it and go for, that 3rd streak and hopefully keep it moving from there.
Yeah. Maddie in the chat too is saying that that is one nice thing about splitting streaks in champion. Unlike NBA, you can still enter the champion lineup without risking your streak. Yeah, the idea that it's like a separate contest, because that's not how it was in the NBA.
I didn't realize that.
You basically have to completely sit out. So which isn't fun for the game. And I think so. Good tweak by them. Let's dive into this game week here, and I think we can like bounce around a little bit and look at some spots. But the one thing I wanted to share first. And I've been doing this the last couple of weeks, is Kevin Roth's weather thing. And mainly because if we look, like the first game that locks here is the Cubs and the Mets. And again, for those that are unfamiliar, I highly recommend subscribing to Kevin Roth, especially if you're playing daily fantasy stuff. But what it does is it uses all of the weather information he has and then compares it to all of like their over-under totals and all of that stuff. And then like the likelihood of home runs. And you can see I wouldn't say we have full wind game here in Chicago, but the weather impact here at Wrigley Field, we know it's like so susceptible to the wind. Where it's blowing in, you play pitchers. When it's blowing out, you play hitters. And as you're seeing, this has got 15 miles an hour going towards left center. And they're saying it's like a plus 24% for home runs, 10% for runs. So the Cubs have been pretty bad. They haven't really been on my radar. And then I saw this and I was like, okay, maybe I use that 3rd champion lineup for something like that. But the over under on this one is 10 runs, and Cabrera and Senga are both like solid pitchers, but I don't. Sometimes I use this as a tiebreaker here for weather, but just wanted to point it out that we have some like crazy wind, and that's kind of in almost in contrast to if we scroll down to Colorado, which we know the Dodgers are in Coors Field, which is always fun, but it's supposed to be like 35 degrees or something like that tonight, and you see that it's minus 13% home run here, but it still is Coors Field, and Roth actually pointed out that like sure it says minus 13, but that still is like a neutral hitting environment compared to the rest of the ballparks. But I guess like to put it towards you, how do you use the weather? Do you use that out, like I was kind of saying, as a tiebreaker? Is that kind of a thing you just like, if it's raining, I may avoid the spot, or like how much are you putting into it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking at weather. I'm not super factoring something like this, like wind blowing out isn't going to override the fact that the Cubs just haven't been hitting for me. Like I've gotten myself into trouble too many times getting cute like that. I think you could take a look at Nico Horner. He's been the one kind of like bright spot in that lineup so far, but like, you're not going to convince me to play PCA with how cold he's been.
So
I look at weather to avoid rainouts. So this week it's Sunday in the Northeast, like Boston, New York, Cleveland, Philly. Like, I'm looking at it and maybe just kind of putting all of that risk in one lineup as opposed to having a bunch of landmines spread throughout my lineup. So that's mostly what I'm looking at it for. And I use Odds Trader, which is it's a very similar format to what you just showed, but it's free. It's a pretty good option. It shows
Odds
the wind as well.
Really good. So why don't we let's start like bouncing around here, and maybe we can kind of ping pong picking some spots that we like, or spots that maybe people like that you want to avoid or can train. We can be like dealer's choice. Where's your like first go-to spot this weekend?
Yeah, you mean first like thing that I'm targeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that I do every game week is take a look at team pitching stats and just filter it by ERA. There's obvious ones like Washington and Chicago White Sox that we've been targeting for years, but the sneaky one that people might not be paying attention to right now is targeting Houston. They have the worst team ERA. And they're going up against St. Louis, which Jordan Walker is one of the hottest bats in baseball right now. So Walker, I think, is a top play. Weatherholt has looked pretty good. But overall, I think St. Louis is a pretty nice stack this week.
Yeah, that's a fun one. And I don't even think they've announced the starter on Saturday yet, at least according to Fantasy Pros, which I know isn't always up to date. But that's like very rarely is all of a sudden an ace inserted into it when it says TBD the day before.
Right.
So that's a great spot. Great shout out too, because I do think like you just look at the Cardinals lineup and you're never like, you're not excited to jam a lot of these guys in here, but you're right. Jordan Walker has been absolutely on fire and hit a couple of at least one big home run against the Red Sox. It might have been more than that. Yeah, I like that. I like that shout quite a bit. And yeah, you're right. The Houston pitching staff has just been, which is so funny because I feel like that's been a staple for them for like the last decade, that no matter who they threw out there, all of a sudden they kind of morphed into an ace. So yeah, really good shout there.
They lost Valdez to Detroit, and then who's there? Hunter Brown is out with injury right now. Their bullpen's been terrible. It's just it's in shambles right now. So it's a good one to target for sure.
Yeah, Taylor in the chat saying it's McCullers who's on the mound tomorrow, who loves to throw the frisbee, and normally I would say that's a great person to attack unless you're the Boston Red Sox lineup, who I believe he shut down. And then, I love that spot. That's a good shout. I think that's pretty contrarian too. Outside of Walker, I don't know how many people are excited to play Cardinals, but I like that as like a little bit of a contrarian spot. That's a fun shout. You mentioned the White Sox. I wanted to go back up there, and we have the Athletics who are hosting the White Sox, and that ballpark is real fun for bombs. And you've got Martin, Fetty, and Schultz there. Two righties and a lefty, and I'm always pretty excited to jam Athletics. I feel like they are not household fantasy friendly names for people, and yet I feel like they've been putting up crooked numbers now for a year plus. And I think I actually should double check this right now. I know Rooker missed the last couple of games. Let me see if they still have.
He's on the IL. Rooker's on the IL.
He's okay. So we've got, with the two righties going up, I mean, Kurtz and Soderbaum and Butler are a fun little three-man. Shea Bangaliers has been off to like a fun start this season. And again, I just really like this ballpark, and I feel like it's of course a level down from Coors Field, but is still one of like the best hitting spots out there. So I really like the idea of attacking this spot. You can probably get to it from the Chicago side as well, but starting with the Athletics, I was pretty excited.
Yeah, that's one where I would probably break my rule when it comes to staying off of guys that are cold, based on those other factors. This one's just too juicy not to take a shot at. Like you said, there's so much pop in that lineup. Kurtz, Bangalier, Soderstrom, and then the matchup, the ballpark. It's got all the factors. So like there is something appealing about having that breakout game be the week that you go for it. So they'll be highly owned based on the matchup, but not as highly as if they were, hot at the moment.
And the White Sox side of it too, man, it's like Savali, Severino, and Springs, which I think are all very attackable. And I don't know, Now, would you think the White Sox players are more or less owned than the Athletics?
Definitely less, lower profile overall. You're looking at Vargas, Murakami, Colson Montgomery. Like, there's just not a ton of pop there. Over the last 15 games, you're not looking at any guys that have been blowing it up. So it's a cheeky play for sure. Like, you know, that is very contrarian in my opinion. It's not a bad matchup, but I'm just I'm not going out of my way to put White Sox in my lineups.
Yeah, and it would be one for me too, where like one of those options where I would just one off it if I didn't have a player that I was excited about in that spot, and you wanted to just like throw Colson Montgomery into one of your teams. I wouldn't hate that, but I'm not by any means being like, let me fire up 3 White Sox in this lineup.
Yeah.
All right, where do you want to go next?
I like on the subject of, you know, not going necessarily where the bats are hot, but San Francisco is not a bad look here. Willie Adames is by far the top option. He has been hitting pretty well. But yeah, Washington has been very worth targeting so far. We've seen some big game weeks against Washington. Adames, he's got 3 right on right matchups, but their bullpen is so bad. Who knows how long the starters are in there anyway. Devers has been ice cold, but he would be kind of a go for it. He's got 3 lefty righty matchups. That lineup just has some pop in it. You know, you could go with Chapman, you could go with Ramos. Yeah, so I think San Francisco again, like obviously, like the obvious answer this week is the Dodgers against Colorado, but you know, even at that, like Colorado's been middle of the pack so far with team ERA. So, but yeah, just looking for something a little bit more off the beaten path. I like San Francisco.
Yeah, I like that too. I like that they are the away team as well. Like, get them out of their park. Also, like, guarantees them 9 at bats every game, which is fun in a series that they should be favored for all of these games. Yeah, I like that shout quite a bit. Devers, man, has been just a nightmare, but at some point he is always so streaky. I feel like when he was in Boston, he got off to slow starts, and I would always just blame that on East Coast weather, anyways. And although that's kind of a myth this year, is it's been like 80 already across most of the East Coast. But yeah, I think that's a fun shout. Let's actually talk about Coors now, where I kind of think I'm just going to be off it if that is going to be a spot where everybody is jamming. And I know it makes a ton of sense, but if we can, like, if I like the idea if Coors fails, we kind of like eliminate a third of the teams we're competing against.
Yeah.
And I know, and if it gets there, then you need to be almost perfect anyways. Like, you have to have the right Dodger or the right Rocky or whatever every single time. And I feel like it's a much higher upside play to just kind of play it to fail, or maybe play it more from the Colorado side than the Dodger side. Sometimes I feel like I'm too gal brain with some of those takes when it comes to Sorare, and a lot of people are like, you don't have to like fade spots like that to gain an edge. But I don't know. I feel like the fact that it's fucking snowing in Colorado right now, and like you mentioned too, the Rockies have been pitching a little bit better than what we're used to, because they've just were like straight gas cans last year. I don't know. Any take on the old Dodger fade?
I think that like Ohtani is Ohtani. I'm putting him everywhere that I possibly can. So he's going to be in top lineups. I think that with the number of lineups that you can set, I'm going to have a stack somewhere, but I don't have their in-season cards other than Ohtani yet. So that's going to be in Challenger. Okay. For me, to answer your question, when it is going to be so obvious like that, I like to find something to tinker with. So like, have one bat from a different team that's a little bit like, this isn't necessarily going to be, you know, accompanying the full team stacks, or go something a little bit different with your pitching. Like, I really like in game weeks like this, where you've got Skeen, Skubal, Crochet all going, to go to a guy like an Evaldi or a Logan Gilbert, like something that if somebody is really going all in on the Dodgers, they've got the full stack and they're putting Skubal and Mason Miller along with it. Like, just find something to be a little bit differentiated that could be the difference when it comes down to it.
Yeah, that's a good shout about rotating the starting pitching a little bit, because I know I'm guilty of just being like, let's just click these buttons and move on. But maybe, yeah, if you're doing one that's like super chalky like that, And Taylor letting us know too, the Rockies offense sucks though, so you don't need to go do that. But I don't know, maybe that's a case for like the Dodger pitching too. Then if we do think the weather is bad and people are staying away from it, in course, I don't think I'm forcing in any of that, but anyways, the Dodgers here are going up against Sagano, Feltner, and Lorenzen. I do have some in-season Dodgers cards, so I'm sure I will put them in one lineup. But I do like the idea of it being kind of outside of Ohtani. I agree with you, Ohtani. I'm just gonna like play him. I kind of do that with Judge too. I'm like just playing Judge if you have Judge.
Yeah.
But I do kind of like this take of either one-offing Ohtani, or you could even do a stack without Ohtani. I don't know. Now I'm overthinking it.
I mean, my top champ lineup has Ohtani and then 4 other bats that aren't Dodgers. So like you could do whatever you want with it. The stacks are just harder to differentiate. So especially when it's so on the nose with Dodgers at Colorado,
right?
Especially given the fact that, Colorado's been okay pitching wise. So we'll see. But I do think that Glasnow, you could make an argument that Glasnow is the best pitcher for the game week because their bats are so bad and they strike out a lot. But Skubal's going against the Red Sox, and the Red Sox also suck. So we'll see what happens.
I know Skubal's my number one, but for the Rockies, offense is going against Glasnow, Sheehan, who had a really good outing last time out, and then Roki. That's going to be the 3 that they go against there. But yeah, I do like that. I'm going to be thinking about it. I think if I was going to play Dodgers too, maybe you just run out the 3 lefties too, instead of leave Hernandez out of there and just kind of go down with like Muncy, Freeman, and Ohtani or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Is any other? I guess we should do we could do like Boston, Detroit a little bit. Like Crochet got absolutely lit up last time out in Minnesota, and then I saw a crazy stat like the last 3 aces that have pitched in Minnesota have all gotten cooked. Which now I'm wondering, is this like the San Francisco 49ers thing where are they near some electrical plant and that's what's going on right now?
Their ions are off.
But I do think like it is in Fenway, and this is a terrible matchup for Red Sox bats. Let me just start with that. With Mize is like whatever, but Skubal and Valdez, I do sometimes get intrigued by an idea of stacking a team that like nobody is going to play in a ballpark that just generates offense. And I mean, we've seen people have got, I forget what team got to Skubal earlier. We've seen the Twins get to Crochet. I don't think I'm going to do it. I think this would be done in like a challenger lineup if I was going to do it. But the idea of kind of firing in some Red Sox and Red Sox and Tigers in a situation where nobody's going to be playing them, right? Nobody's clicking like Riley Green. Nobody's clicking Roman Anthony right now. I don't know. Any thoughts on that, or are we just throwing Skubal and Crochet and we're moving on?
So definitely throwing Skubal. I'm actually avoiding Crochet not because of the blow up, but because of the weather on Sunday.
Oh, right.
I don't like a starting pitcher on the last day of a game week with weather concerns is just a definite no for me. Yeah. I'm actually out on Skeens for the same concern. There's just too much weather for both of them.
Yeah.
But in terms of what you're saying about, I mean, contrarian stack is the best, man. Like while I slow rolled the start of the season, I always collect the Red Sox. It's just a fun thing that I do.
Yeah. Same.
And so I've been rolling out a Red Sox stack in champ every week. I probably won't this week because it would be so improbable that they're going to do enough with the Skubal and the Valdez starts. Plus they're so cold.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, if I didn't have 3 lineups that I liked so much better than that, I do love that play. Like you've got a team, especially it's a team you're collecting where you've got the +5 collector score plus the +5 in season, plus you've thrown a couple like I'm at 12-13% on all my Red Sox. So if it hits, I'm winning.
Right.
But it's unlikely, but like nobody's going to have the same lineup. So there is definitely an argument, especially at the limited level, where just doing something weird, man. Like we see it every week. Click on the podiums every week. Like, yeah, it's not every week, but there's a lot of weird lineups that make their way to the top.
Yeah, that is how I won the first game or second game week, was just Drake Baldwin, where I think people weren't ready, like we weren't in on Drake Baldwin being like maybe the best Braves hitter at this point. And so like throwing him into a stack, I do think like I know I'm so daily fantasy pilled where doing it for one game is a little bit like I can stomach that a little bit more, but having to beat like 3 pretty good pitchers in a row is a little bit more to ask. And like you mentioned with the weather concerns too, like it's probably not, I mean, I'm still going to have a team of Red Sox just because of Massachusetts, but I don't think this would be the game week to do it. I don't know. And then I kind of like buried the lead too, where we started with that Mets Cubs series, and then I didn't really focus on the pitching. The Cubs, like you said, are just like ice cold right now, and you get Senga, Peralta, and Peterson. That would like keep me from pitching at least Senga tonight. Like even though the Cubs have been bad, I don't think I'd want to use that. But I wanted to look at who are the Mets going up against. They've got Cabrera, Tyon, and Assad. And I know Soto's still out, right? We're still San Soto, but and I think Polanco just had to get checked out or something too. But I don't know. Maybe some Mets would be kind of fun. I haven't decided yet, but maybe it's just a one-off Lindor. But again, if the environment is going to be so good for hitting, I don't want to just like fully fade it.
Yeah. It's a tough one. I mean, very similar with the Mets. They're pretty cold. I mean, Lindor has not been good. Bichette has not been good. Robert cooled off after a hot start. So that's a tough one for me too.
Yeah. The first couple days of Lou Bob was so fun, and then he really was ice cold.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, the thing for me also is just like look at who's red hot. I mean, it's tough to come off a guy like Trout right now. Like, how do you not, you know? And he doesn't have a bad matchup either against the pitch. I think he's playing San Diego. He's got some good, Waldron, Marquez, and King. Like, you don't love the King matchup, but the first two are fine.
Absolutely.
If not plus, you know. Joe Adell has been kind of like, I think that what we're seeing with Jordan Walker, Joe Adell, James Wood, CJ Abrams, like it's a good, these guys were all top prospects. I think it's a good reminder, like, especially as like people that are worshiping the shrine of Roman Anthony right now, like it takes some time. These guys were touted the same way that Roman's being touted right now. And, you know, I'm not hesitant to buy in on guys like Adell and Walker.
Yeah.
It could be a buy high. Obviously, Walker's been in a different tier than Adell, but like Adell was a top prospect too. These aren't like random, you know, ascensions. So I think that looking at guys like that, and to your point about, you know, maybe the Red Sox against Skubal and Valdez isn't great, but guys that are hot that have kind of middling matchups, like if you're seeing the ball well, you're seeing the ball well. You're not particularly worried about who's throwing it. So that's just the reality of baseball sometimes. So I like guys like that.
Yeah, the Angels call is fun. Because that's like a lot of home run power there too between Adell and Jorge Soler too. If you wanted to throw him in there, and obviously Trout and Neto, and it's also pretty cheap.
Soler just started his suspension, but Trout, Neto, Adell, a lot of good options there.
And outside of Trout too, I totally missed the Soler suspension. Outside of Trout too, it's pretty cheap, I would imagine. So yeah, I like that idea of finding some cheap options. Jump Shoot reminding us here we got just under 50 minutes for lock. So thank you, Jump Shoot. I'm gonna build mine on stream here in about like 15 minutes or so. I figured we could poke around a few more spots. Anything else from this weekend that you're excited about here or like avoiding?
I think that you could make an argument for some Diamondbacks, specifically Carroll and Marte. Toronto hasn't been great. I think that the Braves are kind of heating up. Olsen's been good. Acuna's been heating up. They do face Sanchez, but they're also facing Taijuan Walker.
Dude,
Painter has been
in the league. Taijuan Walker.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think it's important to remember that you could do it in one game, right?
Yeah.
Like I had Schwarber in a lineup last game week, and like one game is all it takes, you know? So, but yeah, other than that, I think we've pretty much hit everything. I actually do think you could make an argument for Detroit with the mixed bag you've been getting from Boston pitching, but with Crochet in there, I'm probably staying away from it. But no, other than that, I think I think we've pretty much hit the main one.
Yeah, I think, man, if the Tigers, if you told me they were playing Bayo and like Sonny Gray instead of one of Suarez or Crochet, not that I'm scared of Suarez at all, but I always love attacking Tigers when they are going up against righties versus lefties. I just like the boost for Carpenter and Riley when that happens. But yeah, I think we covered most of it. I liked your Eovaldi shout as like because I'm assuming just about everybody is throwing in one of those guys that we'd mentioned, whether it was Skeens, whether it was Scooble's going to be my main guy. I think I got, man, insane craft run where I crafted back-to-back Scoobles. So I will be firing 2 of those out there, I think. And then just to give Seattle a little bit of a shout too.
Yeah.
I think like no matter who they play, they're always pitchable. This isn't the best of matchups against Texas here, but all 3 of this rotation's just sick. Like Gilbert, Kirby, and Wu, like not a fun day to be a Ranger offensive player.
Yeah, I like Gilbert a lot. Texas doesn't scare me. Like it's really not they're middle of the road and they can get hot, but Seattle, any Seattle pitcher, same category as I like Eovaldi. Nick Pivetta just went on the IL, but like he's another one in that category where he's like in that tier right below, but he's got the strikeout upside. I play guys like that a lot. This past game week, the lineup didn't shake out for other reasons, but like I had a Eovaldi Ryan Helsley combo that got me 70 points for my 2 pitchers, which is as good as you could hope for. So yeah, I mean, going that one little step below, if one of the aces just even just has a mediocre, like a 22 point, and you find somebody that hits 32, like that could be all the difference. So I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. And then I guess just to cover closers here for a little bit. I mean, I kind of have been rotating the same 4 or 5 guys, and it's just who's pitched the least in the last couple of days. Is there any of the the like lights out relievers, the elite ones that you are off of this game week because they've been utilized a bit too much?
Yeah, you got to be off of Cade Smith this game week. He pitched 3 out of the last 4.
Yeah.
I think Mason Miller's in play, even though he pitched last night. How do you not? He's one of those guys that could do it. He can get you 26 points with one outing. And San Diego's been not bad, but like they're winning close games. So he's in there. He gets 3 strikeouts. He's just disgusting. So
they're going to kill Don Orsillo, the Padres. Like every single call, it's like this insane, the walk-off. His Holy Sheets call of the Gavin Sheets walk-off was so freaking good.
Oh my God, dude. I love when he says bogey goes boom. That's my favorite.
He's the best, man.
Oh, I miss Don.
I know.
Also, last night was the 19-year anniversary of the pizza incident at Fenway Park.
I saw that going around. That was great. R.I.P. Jerry Remy, the legend.
Yep.
The Rem Dog. That was great. I can't even go down this road because I just hate the broadcast now. I'm just so mad at everything, even though they're my favorite team. I'm just so mad at them.
So mad across the board. I don't hate the broadcast, but we went from a 10 to like a 7.
Yeah.
And that's just tough, man. We had Don and Jerry, and now it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. We have radio guys doing TV. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna do now, and like the chat, if you guys have questions, fire them. But I'm gonna pivot over to my Sorare, and maybe we can like talk through some of my lineup building, and then if you want to, before we lock to share what you're doing, and then I'll remind the people too. We're gonna fire out an in-season Sorare card here that we're going to give away. So all you got to do is like the stream, subscribe to the channel, #Digital Dugout. Actually, while I pull up my stuff, why don't you talk to us about what's going on with the Digital Dugout? What are you guys getting into over there?
Yeah, so our main kind of hub is our Discord, which I think you linked it below. So appreciate that. We've got a really good community of guys that like to talk Sorare every night. So it's we keep it a little more positive in there. We definitely vent here and there, but it's very baseball driven, which I think people appreciate. So jump in there. We do have a paid Patreon kind of like subset of that, but the main Discord is free to join. But yeah, that's our main hub. We've got Digital Dugout YouTube, which I believe you linked as well. Haven't put anything out video wise this year, but like I said, shaking the rust off here with you, which I appreciate, and some live streams to come. So those are the main places to find us. We're on Twitter as well, but Discord and YouTube are the main hubs.
I love it. Go check out those links. Get in there. I see you guys sharing tweets of people taking down W's. So get in there. All right, we're gonna talk through some of this. I think I'm gonna start with my A's stack, because I think that's the one I'm most excited about here. And I think I might do that with like an Ohtani one-off, and then maybe the chat can talk me off of it. So it looks like we got Iglesias here of the Braves. Has pitched the last couple of games. Pagan, he's dinged up, right? We're not going to see him for a little bit.
Yeah, I would stay off of that. Munoz had a terrible last outing, but hasn't pitched much lately. I do think that Aroldis Chapman is not the worst play. He's barely pitched. He's pitched once in the last like 8 days.
Yeah.
And if we do win a game or two in this series, it's going to be close. So I don't hate Chapman. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. And Duran against the Braves too has not really gone. He hasn't been throwing too much this past.
Yeah, actually, I didn't even see that you had that there. That's pretty elite. I'm probably going Duran there.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna go. All right, what I'm gonna do. Oh, I can't play Ohtani in my flex, right? I don't think I can do that.
No, you can't. Quick resource for you. Do you use the Fangraphs bullpen tracker?
Oh, no, I don't use the bullpen, which is so, because I do use Fantrax, but I haven't looked at the bullpen.
The closer, it's called the closer depth charts on Fangraphs, and it'll show you how many pitches and on what day each member of the bullpen threw, which the number of pitches is super relevant too. So that's a good way to get an idea of who's likely to come in versus probably need some days off.
I like that. All right, let's just do the athletic stack. That was my first take, so let's just do it. I forget what is that Bangaliers here in the middle? Yeah. And then he does not project super well, but I don't care.
He's been one of the top bats in their lineup so far. So I think you've got your core three right there. That's honestly probably where I would stop. But I don't know if do you have any more?
I think I have Butler in there, and I had Rooker, but I don't. And then I've got the wrong Max Muncy. Although maybe we can play the other Max Muncy and pretend it's a part of the stack. But no, I think I would stop there too. And then honestly, I think Judge is classic, right? Yeah, Judge is classic, and my Ohtani is classic. But I wouldn't hate just doing 2 one-offs here. I could do. I think I am going to put Ohtani in there.
You could match up Ohtani with your Freeman there.
Yeah, Yeah, maybe we do that because I think the 3 athletics might be a little bit unique enough. So that gives us Freeman, Ohtani, 3 A's, Scooby-Doo, and Duran. So that's going to be lineup 1. And now I feel like we talked about all these spots, and I don't. There's not a second spot that I'm excited about. I feel like
you don't have a Jordan Walker, do you?
No, I don't have a Jordan Walker.
I don't either.
What's this looking like? Because I feel like I end up buying at least one thing on stream anyways. I know you guys can't see this right now, but I'm gonna go see what the Jordan Walker price point is, because I do like the Walker. That was your favorite call there.
I think instant buys are off right now. So
oh wow, yeah. Why? Is it because of
something to do with this promo that they're doing?
Probably because they're all okay, that makes sense actually. Let's see. Maybe I think I have like a little bit of a discount here. Although no, because I can't use the discount because there's no instant buy.
Yeah.
The missions have been sick, huh? I've really enjoyed how much, like how many they throw out there every day. Again, I'm so used to basketball where it's just like 2, but I've really enjoyed the mission aspect of it all.
Agreed, man. I wish that they didn't dial back the clues so much, but totally agree. Like it's been a fun daily way. Like the daily lineup setting was actually, and to each their own, this is just a personal opinion. One of the things that I love about Sorare is that I don't have to set my lineup every day.
Yeah.
So when they added that last year, I was kind of like, I mean, I'm going to do it because I'm addicted to this game, but
right.
But I like missions is a nice pivot from that, where I can still utilize my cards, still keeps me engaged, but I don't have to set lineups.
Yeah, I really like it too. I really like it too. Maybe we'll throw Muncy in this one. I do like he gets a bunch of lefties.
Yep.
All right, I did get your I did get your Walker guy right there. You know what, mate? Too, what I might do? Let's see, because this might be a little. What position is Burleson? Is he
outfield?
Yeah, is Burleson outfield? Let me see what that looks like on the old marketplace too. I bet that one's a lot cheaper than the Walker that we got. Yeah, we might snag one of those too. We might do a little 2-man Cardinal stack. That'll be a little unique here. And I saw our guy Taylor shouted him out in the chat. So maybe we get a little Burleson. Where's Alec playing here? Position first base. All right, he's first base. We'll throw him in there. There we go. Little 2 cards. We've got a Dodger one-off. And I think I'm looking at Glass now right now. I think we're gonna use him for our last pitching lineup.
I think you could make an argument that Willy Adames could be the top middle infield. I mean, of course, Ellie and Witt, like, set it and forget it. The floor is high, so like, don't let me talk you off that if that was the direction you're going. But you're going a little contrarian in this lineup anyway.
Yeah,
I think Willy's a nice play here.
No, I like the Willie call. And then, I mean, I could still use Ellie. O'Neal Cruz also just like hot as hell right now.
Yep.
And I did not really check who the Rays are throwing here. Rays have
they've got McClanahan, Nick Martinez, and Rasmussen. So it's kind of like it's not super threatening. It's not the best. Tampa Bay hasn't been great as a staff overall, and Cruz is hot. So certainly not a bad play. He'll probably be in one of my 3 champ lineups.
Yeah, I think that, or maybe we just say, what if Houston and St. Louis just goes nuts?
Oh, I didn't know you had Jordan. Jordan's a top play. St. Louis is such an easy target. Jordan's a great play this week.
Let's do that. And then you know what we might do for this third one, since I don't have any spots that I'm like really excited about, because I do have a classic Jordan as well. I think what we do for the third one, we're going to throw Glass now in there. And then maybe we put Chapman in this one, because I didn't want to put Chapman with Scooble. But let's just throw some Astros in here. Let's just do a full Astros stack. We'll throw Jordan, because then I think we have Altuve. We might need. I think we have Paredes as well. Pena's still on the
shelf. Yeah, man. Walker is a good play. He's been pretty good.
And I freaking love Jeremy Pena. I keep like wish casting that to work, and it has not worked yet. Let's put Walker in the flex, just so I don't have to scroll through all of them. There we go. Little 3-man. That's fun. And then we can use our Bobby Witt or Ellie. We could also do a 2-man Brave stack. I don't know. Do you have a take on Bobby versus Ellie? We have Gunner in there as well.
Ellie's just been hotter. Yeah. So I'm probably going Ellie just based off of that. But, at any given game week, one of those guys could do it for you.
Yeah, I like that.
Olsen's been pretty good. He's got Taijuan Walker. He does face Chris Sanchez, but not a bad play there either. You got Teoscar there. Jackson Merrill's been pretty hot, and the Angels, not great pitching, although he does face Kikuchi and Soriano this
I
game
love
week.
Soriano. I think we go. Yeah, I think we just ride the hot hand with Ellie. Oh no, we have Ellie in there. I mean, we ride the. I like the Merrill call, but I think we go Matt Olson.
You had an Abrams there too. I could make an argument for Abrams over Ellie. I mean, he is the top scorer in Sorare over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, somebody just DM. I've been frozen for a while. Did somebody say I'm frozen on here?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you see? Can you see me?
No, yeah, you're good. You freeze from time to time, but it's never stopped the audio.
Oh, weird. Okay. Okay, weird. I'm like looking at it on YouTube. Oh yeah, it is like chopping up a little bit. Weird. Okay. All right. Thanks for the heads up, guys. That's so weird. I'm not having any sort of stuff on my end. All right, let's ride this out there. Do you want, or if you're comfortable letting us know, do you want to share screen, show us what you're cooking up?
I'll show you. These are not set in stone yet, but
Sure.
I'll give a taste.
There we go.
We're
There we go.
here. When in Rome.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, again, Mike, I'm glad you're still using just deciding which words to capitalize, Weisberg. Wouldn't be Weisberg in the chat without random words being capitalized, baby. Olsen is good, numbers against Sanchez. Okay, there we go. DJ Local. Thank you. Thank you. All right, here we go. Let's talk us through it. Talk us through the magic here.
This one is probably good to go here. Jose Soriano has been ridiculous. Scooble against the Sox. Jordan's been hot against St. Louis. Judge and Ohtani, don't get cute. J-Ram heating up. Actually, something else that's worth looking at on Baseball Savant is to do ex-WOBA minus WOBA.
Yeah.
And you see like where guys are at in terms of how lucky they've been getting. And J-Ram was like top of that list up until a week ago. And
Oh, wow.
kind of seen that break out. So I got a couple of him, bought low on him. Yeah, like here is where things get a little bit looser for me. Love Willie, Glasnow Chapman combo like you just had. This is probably still going to fluctuate a little bit when I jump off here, but Carroll against Toronto, not bad. Getting more exposure to Ohtani against Colorado.
I like
and
that.
Then down here, just kind of getting into leftovers of guys that could do it. Nothing really overthinking here, just kind of grabbing some guys that could look good. And then, like I said, skipping streaks this week. And then in Challenger, this is probably most representative of what I would put in champ if I could. I just can't. Abrams has been the top bat over the last 2 weeks. Trout, as hot as it comes. Jordan Walker has been great with a good matchup. Sticking with Jordan, doing the same Scooble Soriano combo here. And then some more Ohtani. I've got my Dodgers stack here to go along with Willie and Chris Sanchez Glasnow combo. So kind of, I think this is my differentiation. Plus, there's no Ohtani in here. I ran out of Ohtanis, so
I kind of like that though, is that because I mean, how many Dodger stacks won't have Ohtanis? Especially in Challenger where Ohtani's a little bit more gettable.
Yeah,
I really like that. Also, you showing this reminded me that I had an in-season Kyle Tucker that wasn't in a lineup, so I took one out of my Astros stack to slide him in there because that's silly.
He's cold, but tough to avoid. So we're gonna play him here with the stack and see what happens. Here we've got, this is my weather concern lineup. A lot of Northeast games here. So we'll see what happens if these games get played. We got a lot of hot bats in here. Acuna's been heating up. Olsen's been good. Wood and Abrams have been great. Judge is Judge. Here's my pivot to Gilbert, and then Mason Miller's Mason Miller. And then honestly, I don't do much rare. I mostly use it to farm missions because you can get better credits. But I just picked up a Devers and a Ramos this week because I really liked this little fun stack here.
Yeah.
So we've got the full giant stack to go along with Max Muncy in Colorado, Evaldi, who's always a good play, and Paul Sewald, been a sneaky good closer this year.
I like that.
So yeah, that's what I'm working with. The last Challenger lineup is, again, just like, I mean, my classic collection is pretty deep at this point. So just throwing in some combos of things, Carroll and Marte together, J-Ram and Jordan, I'm just on across the board, and then get Bangaliers in there.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm a big proponent for the starting pitcher at reliever. I've got a pretty good stash of those guys at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like sometimes I use that on the weekend, but don't always use that. Like if it's a slate where there's a lot of teams on 4 games, I don't always go there for this, because I'm like, I don't know, maybe Munoz goes 2 or 3 times, but yeah, that was definitely like my move last year. I haven't done it as much this season though. Borland was asking about the Brewers. I'll be honest, I did not even look at the Brew Crew, but he was asking about Turang over here. And the Brew Crew, who are we taking on this week? Brewers are with Miami, so they got Junk, Alcantara, and Perez. And it's at Miami. Although Turang can rack up some fantasy points pretty quickly. But And like,
Yeah.
it's weird. Those Miami pitchers are solid, but no, you're not like scared of anyone, but you're also not trying to attack them either.
Yeah. Tarang's just had a great floor so far this year. Tons of double-digit point games. He does have a kind of an outlier 2 home run game, which isn't really his game.
Yeah.
That's inflating his recent numbers, but I mean, dude steals bags, which plays in so rare, and he gets on base. He's in a good offense, so not mad at Tarang at all.
I always love grabbing stolen base guys. I really do. I feel like it's such a quick way to rack up fantasy points. I really like the stolen base guys. Unfortunately, it gets me to continue to click Trey Turner, who the Trey Turner days feel like they might be over.
Yeah, it's a tough one. That was a fun stack for so many years, but it's getting tougher and tougher to play. I find myself just doing Schwarber and Harper a lot more often.
I know that's burned me a couple of times this game week. All right, cool, man. Let's wrap there. And next time when you fire up some Digital Dugout live streams, let us know. We'll send people over there. Maybe we can do a version of this over on your channel one week and mix it up a little bit. But
absolutely, man. Would love to have you over there.
Yeah. And then I know we plugged this a little bit, but remind the people here. So we get the Digital Dugout Discord. You can find a link in the show notes where they come hang out. And that one free to jump in the Discord. And then you also have a Patreon stuff, right?
Yep. We've got a Patreon as a subset, smaller group. We do some monthly live roundtables, video calls, stuff like that. But the main Discord, like the main hub where everybody's talking, free to access, come join. Super helpful for new players as well. Guys in there, everybody loves bouncing ideas off each other and calling out weather concerns and injuries. We've got a home run feed. We've got a lineup feed. So like some good resources in there too. But yeah, that's the main place to find us.
Awesome. I love it. All right. What we're going to do before we get you out of here, just so you can be here for it. Last call, like the stream, subscribe, hashtag Digital Dugout into the chat. If you win this, you'll get an in-season card. And like always, it'll be a playable in-season card, but you're not getting an Aaron Judge. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to give you the 14th reliever that's down in like Worcester playing baseball, but you will get something that's playable. But yeah, just we'll spin this. Just shoot me a message, whether it's either on Twitter or in our Discord, at Mike Zakarian on Twitter. Just tag me, whatever, and we'll get this to you probably this week. You're not going to get it for lock today. It's too late. But yeah, let's spin this thing right now. And then just by the way, too, we are going to Weisberg's actually going to jump on in a few minutes. We're going to talk through the weekend of basketball. It's the first, or I guess technically the second game week of the playoff contest on So Rare. So we'll talk through that, maybe do a best ball draft, all that fun stuff. So, all right, here we go. In honor of the Digital Dugout King himself, Mr. SlimFish. Thank you again for hanging, Nate. This was fun talking through it with you, man.
For sure, man. I appreciate you having me. Always a good time talking So Rare with you.
Yeah.
Hey, D Money.
There we go. D Money. Hit me up, D Money. We'll get you something playable here. All right, go click the links, get your lineups in. I still actually gonna click a bunch of challenger buttons and mission buttons here in the next 15 minutes. And then and Weisberg's gonna jump on here. Nate, thanks so much for joining, man.
Thanks for having me, Mike. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, man. All right, D Money, hit me up, and we're going to fire up from some hoops stuff. We got the playoffs are like right around the corner. That's pretty spicy. I'm excited for that. We got a big day tomorrow. 4 game. Well, we got a big game tonight too. Let me go back to what Weisberg's going to be on in a couple minutes. Let me just go back to the missions. Let's click some missions first. And then we will fully pivot to the hoops. Let's do some missions here. And then apologies for the frozen camera for a little bit. Did not realize that was happening. Let's start with the in-season stuff. Okay, so we do have Cabrera, although I really don't want to play a pitcher in Chicago tonight. So let's see if we can avoid it. Perez and Walker. Do we have a Webb or Lytle? No, we don't. Walker, shit. Also, crafted a Max Fried yesterday. That was fun. I do think we have Suarez. I think we can throw Ranger Suarez. We have a Glass now. That's fun. And then I think we have a DeGrom. Do we have it? No, we don't. How about Nick Martinez? Joey Ryan's on the mound tonight. Oh, do we have a Soriano? No, classic. All right, we might have to throw. Damn it. We might have to throw. What's his name? We will throw Cabrera. There we go. That's for our in-season. That's for our in-season. 1 down, 45 to go. Yeah, we're going to be setting the table here. We're setting the table for the basketball weekend. All right, let's do relief pitcher in season, 4, 7, and 10. Let's do Duran, who hasn't pitched in a while. We'll do Chapman, who hasn't really pitched too much lately. Pagan, we know, is not healthy. We got Munoz. All right, there we go. How about slap hitter in season? We need some singles. 1 single, 2 single, 3 single, 4. Let's see. I don't want anybody from there. Anybody we like? How about Chase De La Terre? We can do. Let's do some Brahavs. Oh yeah, well, let's just click all the Braves there. Actually, screw it. Instead of using Chase, why don't we just do 3 Braves? Let's just do 3 Braves. That's fun. 3 Braves. All right, we can need more in season. I don't know why I like doing the in-season ones first, but that's what we do. All right, sluggers. 1 single, 1 ribby, 1 ding dong. I'm going to say it. Lou Bob's going deep today. How about that? Lou Bob is going deep. We've got, let's see. What do we got from over here? Maybe we stay on the CJ Abrams train. Willie Adames. We were just talking about Willie Adames. Maybe Willie Adames goes a yard. And then O'Neal Cruz against. There we go. That's fine. Let's fire that up. All right. Win picker. Let's pick some wins. Skip that game. Skip this game. Logan Webb. Do we have a Webb? No Webb. No Webbies. Nick Martinez. We do have Nick Martinez. No, thank you. Waka. No, not against the Yanks. Who's pitching for the Brew Crew tonight? We don't know. All right, we'll throw Suarez. Oh, no, we already used Ranger Suarez. I got to stop saying it like that. It's probably problematic. The Reds, no. Okay, we need some pitchers, bro. All right, I think we have another glass now. Let's see. Do we have another glass now? Yes, we do. Soriano we love Soriano, and then we can do Logie Gilbs. All right, let's finish these bad boys out, then we'll get Weisberg over here. Closers are easy. We just click the same guys. I don't overthink the closer shit. We just click the same guys. Chapman again, sure. And then let's do Munoz again. All right, let's get Weisberg on here. Let's start getting ready for some hoops stuff. Here we go. Mike, what's going on, dude? How we doing?
Doing okay. My headphones ran out. My camera's not working. Just, it's a shit show of a morning.
Down bad. That's okay. That's not your fault. You didn't know you were coming on until like 15 minutes ago, so I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Snoop Loop letting us know Brewers is Coleman getting called up now. All right, Mike. Let's start with tonight. How are we feeling about tonight's games?
All right, real quick. I let me get my Sorare up as we're talking. Apologies.
No, you're good, man.
Out of sorts right now. All right, so tonight's games are Hornets, Magic, Warriors, Suns. First and foremost, on Warriors, Suns, we'll go in reverse order. I think the Warriors are getting blown out tonight, man.
Yeah.
One day rest, coming off an emotional win where you clearly should not have won that game. With a Phoenix team where Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green played really well. Book was just okay.
Yeah.
I think Booker is going to cook because I don't think they have anyone who can defend him.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think that was a lot of energy for them to extend. I mean, you're asking Al Horford, Draymond Green, and Porzingis, who I know Porzingis is questionable. I'm like pretty sure Porzingis is playing. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't.
Yep.
But you're asking a lot of these guys who just did this the other night,
Yeah, and it's just, I think they felt so good about that win.
Yeah.
Like there was an element of like, hey guys, we can do this. Yeah, you're also 38 on 1 day's rest.
Right.
The majority of that team. I also hated how fucking pompous Steve Kerr was, but I'm the permanent Steve Kerr hater, so it is what it is. That said, yeah, I just think they're gonna get beat pretty badly. I would guess this is gonna be like, let me see what the spread is tonight. Just to for Suns 3.5?
Suns 3.5. There we go.
I would take that Suns over. I think it would be way more than 3.5.
Yeah. Canadian Brandon Holland said, "Hey, I'm 38. If I get my midday nap, I could play some basketball."
Yeah, and then you'll play for 20 minutes and your knees start getting a little wheezy. Like
listen, I played last night, man, and I'm still my back is toast today. So and it wasn't even a late game. That was like a 7:00 game. I was home early, which was nice, but I'm dead, just dead.
How did it go last night? You didn't pick up any tees. No one yelled at you.
No.
Of games.
No, it's pretty good. It was against a team that, again, I feel like I tweeted this out, but I think legally every pickup team should require to have at least like 157, 150-pound dude. Like just so we can cover each other. And instead, I just got beaten up. It was pretty physical, but shot the ball really well last night, which was fun. We won. We won by like 18 or something like that. So we kind of ran away with it in the second half. So it was fun. It was good to shake off the championship L. Yeah, I know, Alan, it's tomorrow, but I'm not going to do a show in the morning. Shut up, Alan.
As far as the Charlotte game goes, look, man, that Orlando team has completely given up on life.
Yeah.
All right. Like, in no way, shape, or form is Jamal Mosley going to be the head coach within an hour after that team loses tonight.
Yeah, there's a good chance he like dips out like during the post game, like kind of like Doc Rivers did, where he was just like, "There's no way I'm playing."
Yeah,
or I'm coming back.
Look, you had that weird Raheem Palmer tweet earlier this week, by the way.
Yeah. Also, that was weird. Why did we say it like that? Why did we say it was like a star? Who they talking about?
Like, there were two parts of that tweet that were very funny for the people that didn't see it. One was like the original version of the tweet, which is like, a Orlando star doesn't get along with his coach. Jamal Mosley's probably out after this game, which, by the way, kind of everyone knows. Like, Paulo's been pretty publicly beefing in press interviews with Mosley. Seems like things have calmed down, but like, whatever. The next tweet, he gets a little indignant about people challenging him because he's a family guy. And then he's like, yeah, look, I don't tell everyone about everything, like, I knew about the Malik Beasley stuff a year and a half before it came out.
Yeah, it was really weird.
And I was like, that's an open FBI investigation, big dog. What are we doing over here?
I know, that was pretty bizarre.
Anyway, look, to get back to this game, Charlotte is going to run them out of the building. If you look at the overall metrics, like, Charlotte is an incredible three-point shooting team. Something Orlando doesn't do a particularly great job of is defending on the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get cooked on pace, and defensively, this is nowhere near the same team it was last year.
Yeah.
So to me, like, this is a double-digit loss, and it won't be particularly close, in my opinion.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I honestly, like, just talking about that, it would be kind of fun to, if you wanted to do like a stupid alt bet, which again, not financial advice or anything like that, but if you wanted to do one, I think you could move both lines to 9.5 and just take Phoenix minus 9.5, take Charlotte minus 9.5, and I bet you would get a really good number for that. Which
look, there's a couple things that I think are interesting about Charlotte. One, the fact that LaMelo is playing. I was a little disappointed he didn't get suspended.
Why?
I thought it was earned, man.
No.
And like, he's got a history of doing this to guys now. Like, you can go back and look. Like, this wasn't the first time that LaMelo's tried this stuff. I just.
What's the other time that he's done a dirty play?
He tried to do it to Bam just like last year. Same thing.
Really?
Yeah, there's video.
Well,
now it wasn't him falling out of bounds, but he did try to trip him.
Yeah. Oh, I missed it. Yeah. I mean, I guess the thing that makes me laugh about it is like, we've never, like, are we going to start suspending Draymond all the time now? Are we going to, like, Lou Dort didn't get suspended for it? Like, and to me, it wasn't at the same level as some.
Well, Tim Bontemps did note on Who Collective this morning that the history of guys who've gotten a flagrant 2 after the fact and didn't get suspended is pretty small. So
yeah, that's interesting.
It is pretty unusual. Understandably, it is playoffs, but it's also kind of funny because even if they move forward here in the playoffs, which I would expect them to do, those flagrant fouls don't count towards anything.
Right. Yeah, I thought the upgrade
was $60,000 fine.
I thought the upgrade was pretty hilarious. Like, because I was like, what does that mean? Like, yeah, just do the fines. Like, what do you mean? What is it? That's like giving some like, oh yeah, he had 5 fouls and we missed the 6th foul. So we're just so you know, we're giving him a 6th foul after the game. And it's like, okay. Like
it's like not to get too political here, but it's like the Trump administration finding Ticketmaster for, screwing people out of like, I don't know, $1 billion and only finding them like $100 million. Like, cool, we made another 900 million, whatever.
Yeah.
Like LaMelo's worth 300 million. You think he gives a shit about a 60K fine? No, of course not.
No, I don't think so. All right, let's like kind of talk. I guess because this is about tomorrow. For like, can we see tomorrow? Yeah, we can. Okay.
We can.
So I guess this is what I wanted to see. The length of it goes for a full week. Okay, so the game week starts tomorrow and it goes through Friday. So I guess what we could do here, instead of looking at So Rare, and then I think we can do like a best ball draft and stuff too. I think what we could do here is let me pull up ESPN and maybe we just kind of look at the schedule here for a second. So with the game week starting tomorrow, right? We know everybody's playing one game through Sunday. So we don't need to look at Saturday and Sunday. Everybody will play one game through Sunday. Then we'll see game 2 on Monday of Raps and Cavs, Hawks and Knicks, Timberwolves and Nuggets. Then on Tuesday, we'll get games 2 of 76ers, Celtics, Trailblazers and Spurs, Rockets and Lakers. On Wednesday, we'll get game 2 of the Pistons series and of the Thunder series. So only 2 games on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, and again, this goes Thursday and Friday, we'll get games 3 of Knicks and Hawks, Cavs and Raptors, Nugs and Wolves. That's all 3. And then games 3 of Spurs, Blazers, Lakers, Rockets, Celtics, 76ers. So it looks like the only series we get kind of boned on is that the 2 1-8 seeds. They will only play 2 games. The rest will all be playing 3 games. That doesn't mean you can't play them because, again, now that we're pivoting back to NBA, it's spike night versus cumulative scoring. But for the most part, 6 of the 8 series will have 3 games this game week. Go ahead.
What is your approach going to be given it's still early in playoffs?
Yeah.
So even if we're getting 3 games from each team on majority, how are you approaching setting your lineups?
Yeah, so I was trying to think about this a little bit. I haven't looked at caps too much, but I was trying to think like, is there a world, and probably not until we get to second, maybe third round, where you just play Jokic and Wemby and like punt a position. Because I just think like you're absolutely going to need one of those 2. And I was like, is there a world? Because the value guys don't become value guys much longer, because of how much these rotations shrink. It's just trickier. It's trickier to find like the low cap guys because those guys just aren't going to play anymore when you start thinking about some of these rotations. I don't know if you've poked around at all, but are there, like, just thinking about some of these playoff rotations, are there some of these guys outside of maybe Philly, but even Philly's caps have kind of evened out a little bit, where you're like, oh, I want to jam in this value guy? Because I just don't know. I don't know where it's coming from,
One guy I think isn't getting talked about a ton, but I think could actually have a major impact is Jordan Walsh.
Yeah. If you think Walsh is going to get the Maxey assignment, which we saw earlier, I think that's true. I honestly did not realize, because by the way, top tier is not updated yet. It probably will be later today, and I'll post some stuff. I'll have a Substack going out tomorrow morning on Bagel with Locks about the underdog slate, but I'm going to include some So Rare stuff in there. So if you're not subscribed to that, subscribe to that. But I did not clock that Derek White's cap was 23. So that is actually a little spicy.
Yeah, Derek White's cap is. I'm looking over the caps now as we're talking. Let's see.
Also, it is now, Mike. You are the one who has frozen your camera after me being frozen earlier. But
oh, really?
You're back now. You're back now.
Oh. I would say. How do you feel about Vooch?
I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he's going to play much.
What do you think about Jalen Tyson?
Yeah, Tyson, I think, has a better shot at playing more. I think Jamie, too, bringing up Alex Caruso, I think that's a fun one. Because we do know OKC was kind of keeping him in the garage just so he was healthy and ready to go for the postseason. I don't know how much needs to be used here in the round one, but I do like that call of like Caruso doing it a little bit.
Yeah, there's no other real value plays at that point. I mean, it gets pretty ugly early. Like, I don't know how you're going to be able to really do contender lineups, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be focused on it too much. But I do think like that's something to keep in mind. And again, maybe not for round one, but for round two, we might be getting to the point where we're punting a position where like if you own some of these guys that are like low caps on teams that aren't going to play, like unless they're down 30 or something like that, but it might allow you to just play two guys who are going to get you like 60 fantasy points. Because again, like a team like Denver, man, Denver's going to barely be playing 8 guys. You're going to see
Peyton Watson back yet or no?
He's not officially ruled out yet. But my guess would be if we saw him, it's late in the first round, most likely the second round.
So if P. Watt's not playing, I could see Spencer Jones getting big minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know if it's big minutes, but like getting some minutes. Because they are going to run out that 5 of Jokic, Jamal, Gordon, Christian Brown. Who am I forgetting? Oh, Cameron Johnson, right? That is going to be like all of those guys are going to play like close to 37 minutes. You're going to see Jonas Valanciunas get a little bit of some backup. You're going to see Tim Hardaway Jr. get some backup. You're going to see Bruce Brown get some backup. And then like, I guess to your point, the defensive stuff could require a little bit more Spencer Jones because of Anthony Edwards, or if Ant gets Christian Brown into foul trouble. I think that is a good shout. I think he's like a fringe play, but that's what we're doing, right? Is finding these fringe plays.
What about a Bones Highland?
Yeah, I think I think you can definitely get to Bones Highland.
I think Bones could be interesting.
Alan was asking about Aaron Wiggins, and like I honestly don't know. I don't think he's going to get much run, which is just so crazy how deep the OKC team is. But my guess is you're going to see more because like AJ Mitchell is probably their first guy off the bench, along with
assuming health.
Yeah, and then Caruso. So like. That's behind Wallace, SGA, and J-Dub. And
they can get to McCain if they want to before Wiggins
and Isaiah Joe. Like,
yeah,
they've got a lot. They got a lot of different options,
and they have a lottery pick thanks to the Warriors winning the other night.
Unbelievable. Mike, do you mind? You want to like, I don't know, pick a series and cook on it for a second?
Yeah, I can vamp.
Give me. I'm just gonna refill the water quickly, even though
go for it.
Frozen.
One series I'm really interested in, guys, is Raptors Cavs. Look, I don't think the Raptors have a chance in hell of actually winning the series. I do think from a so rare perspective, there are some interesting like concepts. Quickly still day to day with the hamstring. Cleveland, all their guys are healthy-ish. Dean Wade, Dennis Schroeder, Keon Ellis, Thomas Bryant, Sam Merrill, all are like technically day-to-day with various injuries. But like, I'm intrigued to see how Cleveland approaches this, who their 5th guy is going to be, who's going to be their 6th guy off the bench. I wonder the kind of minutes you're going to see for Schroeder. Because I think he could really cook in bench minutes. If Quickly does play, I would actually love to see him against those Cavs bench units because I don't think that Cavs team is a particularly great perimeter defensive team. They really struggle against guys who can shoot. And if you put Quickly up against those Cavs bench units, you have a real chance for a spike game, in my opinion.
Do we think Quickly's going?
Crazy, but I think he could get there.
Do we think Quickly's going?
He is day to day, and it is a hamstring strain. So,
yeah, it looks right now he's questionable. That wasn't me poo pooing the take. I was genuinely curious.
I'm just like in terms of breaking down how those potential matchups look. I think that's the most interesting part of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Donovan Mitchell is going to be awesome. Harden's going to be great. Scotty, I think, has a real chance to hammer down a ton of boards against a Cavs front line that like has been kind of hit or miss at times. Like we haven't seen the Cavs at full strength pretty much all year.
Yeah, I mean, because Allen's minutes have been limited quite a bit here down the stretch.
Allen's still technically hurt too.
Yeah, to your Scotty point, I like him more if we get Emmanuel quickly ruled out. I think that's a little bit more fun. Not that you can't play him, but I think he becomes like an excellent play if he's going to do a little ball handling too. Borland was asking about Luka. I don't think we're going to get an update on him for a while, but my guess is it's going to take like 7 games for him to play.
Well, the league certainly did the Lakers quite a bit of favors if you go and look at the schedule.
No, for sure they did. I mean, I know they spread it out quite a bit, but I think even still, like I think he's a dog to play again, unless maybe if it goes 7, you got a shot, but
6 or 7 at most. But they have like a couple days between like nearly all their games. It's crazy.
Yeah,
they have the longest schedule in theory of any first round game.
Right.
Series.
I was listening to, I think it was Lowe and Goldsberry yesterday, who were they both seemed pretty light on the fact that they're expecting both Luka and Reeves to be out for basically this whole series.
One thing to think about in terms of the playoffs, and Mike, I know you went on with the Underdog guys with Badge Bros this past week to talk about playoff best ball, which I think closes officially tomorrow, right?
Yeah, that usually goes right up until lock. So like if you let's see, right now it's at looks like 75%. This will fill. Yeah, it closes at 12:30 tomorrow.
Okay. I think it'll be filled by the end of the day today.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe even by like 3 p.m. West Coast time, honestly. But the thing you have to consider from a Sorare perspective is even if these are going a full week, next game week is going to be super interesting because I think the Thunder potentially sweeps whoever gets out of Suns, Warriors. Pistons probably 1-5. Celtics, Sixers, probably that's a 5-game series. Like Spurs, Blazers. Maybe the Blazers take 2 if they're lucky. Like the longer series here are going to be those 3-6 series, in my opinion. So like, I think it's going to be interesting about how you choose who to play from like just a game theory perspective for next week.
Yeah, I honestly, man, I would be, I don't know. I'm on an island with this Nuggets Timberwolves series. I just don't think Minnesota's healthy. If I thought Minnesota was really healthy, this is like, I might almost pick Minnesota. I just don't think they're 100%. I kind of think this is a quick series. I really do. But I don't know. The Minnesota always seems to rise to the occasion and they play to their level. So the talent they're playing. So maybe they're healthier than.
And the Nuggets are pretty beat up. And
I think outside only Peyton Watson, like Gordon's healthy now.
If we trust him to stay healthy over like a 2-week span.
Right. That's fair.
And the other thing is like as we go further along here, you're going from 2 days in between games to 1 day in between games. And like Aaron Gordon's hamstrings are like a rubber band ready to snap off.
Yeah.
Like he continuously gets hurt at this point.
Yeah, that is fair. I mean, if you're playing it that way, then this is absolutely a longer series.
And then Lakers Rockets, like that may be a quicker series than people think. Because that Lakers team without Luka or Reeves, they might be toast. I know no one trusts the Rockets because that team is a chemistry shit show.
Yeah.
But they should make quick work of the Lakers.
No, that feels like a 5 or 6 games, but I think I would lean closer to 5. I could say the Lakers will get 1.
How do you feel about Celtics Sixers?
I think that's going to be 4 games.
Oh, you think it's sweet?
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, if Embiid is back, then maybe I'll give him a game. But I was listening to, God, I forget who it was. We were talking about like shooting variance, which I know is a thing. Like, I know the Celtics have one cold shooting night, and they're probably in trouble. I just don't think Philly is a team that can do it. I don't think this is such a bad matchup for them. Like, what the fuck are they going to do with Drummond and Bona? I don't think so. I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. And like that, like Maxey, I think is a really bad matchup. And if it means we're playing Jordan Walsh, 30 minutes, that ultimately I think is bad for Boston. Cause I do think Maxey can still beat the Jordan Walsh assignment. It'll make it harder for him for sure. But like you use Maxey and VJ are who the fuck is gonna cover Tatum and Brown?
So I look at this matchup and there's a couple different things. All right, first, the one thing that's working in the Sixers' favor is the Celtics, because of their bigs, have to play drop.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that the 76ers do nearly better than anyone else in the league is hit mid-range jumpers. And in fact, because of Maxey's ability to hit floaters, they're top 5 in the league in floaters.
Yeah.
So they're going to attack you off the dribble, and they're going to run a shitload of pick and roll. So they may be able to steal a game with Maxey and Edgecombe just attacking the Celtics bigs. That said,
what if they play small?
What you mean? Go Tatum at the 5?
Yeah.
I mean, good luck.
That's what I mean. I just don't think yes, they could absolutely steal a game. They could absolutely take a game. I'm not saying it's book it, but if I had to pick, I just think this is. I like watching that Philly Orlando game. I never felt more confident that the Celtics were going to win 4 in a row. Like both of those teams just did not look right,
Yeah. I mean, look, I'll just say, the other thing I'll quickly say just about the Sixers broadly. To your point on Tatum, who's going to guard Tatum and Brown, Paul George, someone injected him with compound V, and he has been playing great basketball.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're just going to run a pick and hunt Drummond and Bona in those pick and rolls.
Yeah, and that's just one. That's one guy. So okay, I think Paul George is too small for Tatum. And I think Jaylen Brown can still beat him. But either way, you need a second one. That's all of a sudden either asking VJ to play, which I think VJ could do it for stints, but not for a full game. And that means you're asking Kelly Oubre then to do a lot. And I like Kelly Oubre. I do think he's a nice 4th, 5th piece. But I don't know if that can slow down Tatum and Brown. I just think it's going to be too much. I think if Embiid was there, this is more of Celtics in 6. I'd be and I think they'd be all close games. I think Boston's gonna just run Philly out. Unless
I'd give it 5.
Yeah.
Just because the Celtics are the Celtics and they're a team that has had these kind of issues. When was the last time they swept a series?
Yeah, I don't know. Was it what was the Pacers, right? In the conference finals?
2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah. So
was it Orlando?
Happens, but even that series did not feel like a sweep.
No, and I don't, and I'll even say I bet they blow them out one time and 3 of these games are close. But I'm
intrigued by Knicks Hawks.
Yeah, I think this is going to be fun. I wouldn't be surprised if this went 7 without a close game. There's going to be crazy runs, I think, in these.
Yeah, I also wonder. So the Knicks starting 5, their metrics are some of the worst in the league defensively.
Yeah.
And it has not felt like a particularly great lineup. I wonder if they take Josh Hart out and just go Mitchell Robinson, just go big against, go start double big with Cat and Mitch. Just to emphasize their size advantage over the Hawks, because look, I love Onyeka, but he's not going to be able to deal with those 2 bigs.
No.
On the glass. And then on the perimeter, yeah, they got some switchy wings, but you're trusting Jonathan Kuminga to come off the bench and be an impactful player in a playoff series.
I don't think he's going to play that many minutes. I think if Quinn Snyder does a good job, Kuminga's playing less than 14 minutes a night. I think in the matchup stuff is pretty interesting because I agree. Cat is in a spot. I wonder, do they like fuck around and throw Dyson Daniels on Cat?
I mean, that's a smart thing to do. Is you take a like either a smaller wing or a guard and you
just eliminate the pick and roll with Brunson.
Mm-hmm.
And then that requires like Josh Hart probably to do a little bit more. But yeah, I'll be curious to see if they how they handle it. And then on the flip side, man, like who does Cat cover?
I guess a Kongwu.
So then who's Mitch Rob covering? Or is Mitch Rob like, are they not playing together much?
I mean, I think that like in kind of listening to some Knicks pods, that, I think it is a genuine question of like who they take off the floor from the starting five, because Mike Brown has kind of talked about we might make some changes to the starting five. But we'll see. I would guess Hart is the guy that they bench, but like there's such a weird team. Like there were teams that could be knocked out in the first round. There were teams that could win the title in theory.
Yeah,
you just don't know with this Knicks team. I think it's more likely than not they get knocked out by the Celtics in the second round. But like Mikel's been so bad for most of the year. OG, I think has been like up and down.
Yeah, he's been playing well the last couple of weeks, especially defensively. He's gotten a lot better after like slipping. But yeah, I think I'm gonna pick Knicks probably in 6 or 7, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta took it to him. I actually think it's gonna be kind of,
It'd be kind of nuts.
Yeah, it would be fun to see Dolan lose his mind. I don't know if did you listen to the new Pablo?
I got some clips.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
I mean, look, here's the thing with all that. That's been going on for a couple years. He's been sued over that twice now.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about. I kind of think it's going to be a boring first round in the sense that I just think it's going to be chalky. I think there are going to be a lot of quick series, and I think Houston is the favorite, but so like let's just say all 4 favorites win.
Do you think the Hornets kind of push the Pistons a little bit?
If they win tonight, I mean, I think they can. It's funny. I was saying this morning, I think or maybe I was talking to Pete. I think if Charlotte played any team but Pistons or Boston, I think I would have picked them to win the series in the East.
I hear that. I get it. Their size and versatility, their ability to shoot. They work really well in transition. Yeah, they turn the ball over a ton, which is kind of what the differentiator between them and the Celtics, like as a actual winning team. But, they're like the Celtics' little brother, kind of. A little crazier, little on edge, but they're live against the Pistons because the Pistons don't really stop people on the perimeter very well.
Yeah,
Great
I think
defense, but like,
yeah, I think there is going to be some matchup problems. I also think Duren might just be too much. I think that is like a real advantage they're going to have, even though I like Moose.
I love Moose, but
yeah, that's not the series for Moose. I think they're going to need Con Knippel to be healthy again. I don't know. Maybe we find that out.
I think Con's hurt.
Yeah, he's definitely not 100%.
But like, even that said, that by the way, that's the only reason that makes sense why you benched him in the first game. Is that he's like, they tried to let him go. He didn't shoot well, and Charles Lee was like, all right, I have to look elsewhere. When Grant Williams is getting key minutes for your team, it's probably a bad call.
Yeah, I know. Maddie too saying I don't think LaMelo's game is serious enough for the playoffs against a good defensive team. Yeah, I mean that's fair too. I think the thing that's gonna rear its head one way or the other is Detroit shooting. And if Detroit can find some other guys to knock down some shots, it might not matter in round 1, but in round 2 and then round 3, like how successful is Duncan Robinson going to be?
How great is Danish Jenkins in a playoff setting?
Right. And I mean, like that doesn't help the shooting that much. Like
he's an off the bench guy,
right?
Or guy that you could start with Cade if you want to go that route,
right?
I do think JB is certainly going to be in the running for Coach of the Year, if not the Coach of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that Pistons fans have been, what's the best way to frame this, frustrated with the way that he uses Oscar Thompson.
Yeah.
And, he is clearly their best perimeter defender, but JB will pull him for like some weird Ime Udoka type reasons where he's like, I just don't like the way you're playing, and just pulls him for Tobias. And I understand JB trusts his vets, but like you got to have your best defenders out there against good wings. And as Matty Harrison says,
I haven't seen that nickname. That's good.
That's solid. I like that. There is a little too much of that particular person.
Yeah, Thompson's gonna have to. I mean, like what was killing them last year was foul trouble. But they're especially in a series against Charlotte, where like those wings and the guards are where the success lies. Like Thompson's gonna have to have a big series. I still really like. Actually, this is a good. Let's just jump into a best ball draft. I think Thompson, Tobias is like still a pretty solid pick there. These drafts have been ugly, man. I'm having a tough time getting excited about them, but we are doing it.
It's a lot of people who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Well,
very frustrating.
It's just ADP has shifted so much that some of these teams are just not as exciting. But one of the things I've been doing is
Wemby, baby.
Well, yeah, Wemby or Jokic. Like I have SGA. I actually have SGA like 4 right now. I'm just straight fading the Thunder stacks.
Yeah, I mean it's really hard to get there. I think the San Antonio stack here makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, it'll be San Antonio or Denver, whatever Math Moo does. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of San Antonio lately. Actually, if I just look at my my exposures here. What are we sitting at? We got 47% LaMelo, a lot of Derek White, a lot of Pritchard, unfortunately a lot of Luka, a lot of Castle. Our wing, ton of Miller, ton of Gordon, ton of Tatum. Most of this is cheap Tatum too, which is fun. And then the bigs, where we had the bigs, we have 37% Jokic, which is kind of wild. The best thing that I was saying this the other day, the best thing that I've done was not click Vucevic once, or maybe once, but I was always clicking Kata before Vuce, and I feel vindicated for that now.
Hashtag never Vooch.
Never Vooch, man. I legit think Garza might play more minutes than Vooch this postseason.
Yeah.
Dude, Mazzulla was pulling people in preseason games. You think he's going to deal with Vooch?
Well, and the other thing that people forget is the Celtics got a big trade exception for trading for Vooch.
That's right. All right.
Jokic.
Jokic goes 1. A ball knower, man. So we'll go Wemby 2 here. I also don't have any rank set. I'm just going off ADP because I do think we're at the point where rankings don't matter as much, especially if you're hand building.
One thing that I expect him to take SGA here.
Yeah, I would think so. One thing I've been doing with these Wemby stacks, which has been kind of fun, is I try to push Castle to my 3rd round pick. And I've been doing some Wemby Duran starts.
Oh.
And then trying to get one of Tobias or Thompson, maybe both of them late. And just to build out a Spurs Pistons. Because I'll be honest, it's really hard for me to click Celtics at this point, unless it's just like a one-off Boston guy.
Like Peyton Pritchard mid, like 4th round or something.
Honestly, one thing that I've been doing now, although John Boy was telling me it was kind of dumb, which I get what he's saying, because like how many times does Baylor Shireman outscore Nemias Queta? But I've been doing like 4-man Denver stacks or 4-man Spurs stacks or even Thunder, whatever West team. And then with my last pick, picking one of Sam Hauser or Baylor Shireman, just so if that finals does happen, say it's Spurs and Celtics, I'll at least have 5 guys going. So that's one thing I've been doing.
I think you're going to get there with Duran here.
Yeah, we'll see. It depends. Like Cade went over here. Sorry, I should move it like this. Who took Cade? We had K Witt take. Oh, so he went Cade Tatum.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you build from there? Like, what are you trying to go for?
But this is what my case for not picking SGA 3, because like your next Thunder is going to be either Isaiah Hartenstein or AJ Mitchell. So if you're taking a Thunder stack to the finals, you're doing it with SGA, and then you know what I'm saying? Like it's just so hard for that to win.
Yeah, and now he's stuck to like probably going with a Knicks stack, I would guess. I actually wouldn't mind doing a Knicks stack, by the way.
No, I was just gonna say whoever I don't take, yeah. So he's gonna take Towns. So we'll get Duran here, and that's fine. And then we hope Castle, like Matt should go Jamal, and then probably Brunson or White would make the most sense. But I like could take Castle. I don't know.
Who did you take? You took Jamal.
Yeah, he's got Jokic, Jamal, and then I think Brunson. Yeah, Brunson makes the most sense there. So then we get Castle. So now we've got two bigs in Wemby and Duran, and we've got Castle there.
And then we can grab Tobias in like the 5th round.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to have to take Fox with I hate taking Fox this early because I just don't love it, but I do think you need 4 Spurs in this team.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Like, in what world? And I think this is what Jake Perry in this spot has to do. But like, you get this team to the finals, in what world is SGA and Isaiah Hartenstein gonna beat the other Thunder teams that are there? You know?
Well, because everyone who drafted early got like SGA and J-Dub way better values.
After this one, I'll show you one of the Thunder ones that I have. It's got SGA, J-Dub, Chet, and Tatum. How many have you done? A handful of these, Mike?
Dude, I've done a ton of these.
Yeah.
I am at, let's see. Haven't drafted in a couple days, but let's see. Fox, I assume here?
Yeah, we got to get some wings too. I don't hate the LeBron one-off, and then hope Fox comes back. Although LeBron's been really falling here.
I wouldn't mind Peyton Pritchard here. And hope Fox falls to me.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. We're gonna be pretty light.
Then we fill out our wings.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. The wing stuff's going to be hard. We might have to do some one-offs here. Our last wing will probably be Keldon Johnson or Champagny. That'll be our.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But what we're doing is, we assume that Boston, Detroit get there. Hopefully, Pritchard plays well enough, even if he only has 5 games, gets us enough points to potentially get out of the first round, which is the most important part.
Yeah, we just need our wings to. We need some good wings. Maddie says, if I'm going Spurs, I like to grab high score 1 round guys, then sprinkle in 1 player from each East team. Yeah, I like that too, Maddie.
Yeah, I have, let's see, about 19.
19, there you go. Nice.
Yeah. 18 in the dance, 1 in the little dance.
I don't think I ended up doing any little dances.
Highest owned right now are OG. Actually, let's see. Highest owned are Josh Hart, OG, Aaron Gordon, Brunson, SGA.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I think if we can, I would like to go LeBron Randall here. I mean, I'm sorry, LeBron Harris or Randall Harris.
Yeah, that works.
LeBron goes. I think I will try to go Randall Harris there. I mean, you can make a case for Brandon Ingram or Denny too, but I think, or Aaron Gordon, but I just think
I don't trust him.
Yeah, you're really concerned he's going to get hurt, huh?
Dude, he's gotten hurt 3 different times this year.
Yeah,
and each time he's out for like 2 weeks. And if he's out for 2 weeks, drafting him this high,
yeah,
you're toast.
I think he's going to be like the most important player for this contest, though. All right, we're going to go Randall. What does this guy have, actually? Yeah, we're going to go Randall. We're going to hope Tobias just falls 2 more picks, and then we'll take Tobias, which will give us our second piston there. He goes Bridges, and I do really like Tobias. I actually think I like Tobias more than Asar Thompson for this contest.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Tobias could give you a spike game in a way that Asar Thompson can't.
Yeah.
Now we're in like this interesting spot where I might take a one-off wing.
Yeah, that's kind of what we did with Randall to help us get through. And then
you take another one-off guard, like Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Yeah, Walker's kind of nice. I mean, Maxey too.
I just don't think Max is going to fall to here. Denny could be interesting. Who's your second big?
We're done. Yeah, Wemby and Duran.
Wemby and Duran. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, Maxey goes.
Ooh, LaMelo actually wouldn't be a fun last play here.
Oh, there you go. Chad's gonna go LaMelo Miller back to back right there.
Just get stream sniped.
I know, right? I will happily take Brandon Miller as a one-off though.
I mean, look, if they get feisty versus Detroit, that could be fun.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it helps us, especially if we click 2 of them. Then we get. I mean, people go back and forth if this is smart or not. But I like the idea of being guaranteed to like a 2-man stack moving on to the next round. Yeah, I think we click LaMelo Miller and then we grab one of Keldon or Champagny. I actually don't have strong opinions on either of these guys. Like I'm just kind of rotating them both in.
I like Keldon a bit more because he's more consistent. Champagny could give you a spike.
Yeah.
Is the only thing with him. Like he might have one monster playoff game.
Yeah.
In this playoff round, that could be like a Sam Hauser 7 threes kind of deal.
Right. It seems like Harrison Barnes minutes are pretty much done.
Yeah.
All right. So
apparently these hands didn't work.
Yeah, right. So this is going to give us, we've got 3 Spurs right now. We're assuming 4. We've got Castle, Fox, and Wemby right now. We have a Randall one-off. We did LaMelo and Miller, and then Tobias and Duran. So that should give us 4-2-2-1-1, right? With Pritchard and Randall.
I don't mind that.
No.
Like, given where we are in draft season, it's actually pretty good value across the board. You know, getting Fox at, what was it, 26?
Yeah, I wish I bet Fox falls a little bit more. He kind of seems like not that he's even having a bad season or anything, but he's just kind of the odd man out from like the fantasy perspective right now.
I wonder how many people are clicking Harper.
No, I don't think we're seeing much Harper being clicked, but I think he's going to play.
Yeah, like I actually kind of think it could be interesting to click Harper maybe over someone like Champagny, just to give you some variety.
The reason I'm going to do it here is because I want another wing.
Yeah.
Just because if we get to the finals, I like knowing that we'll have, like, say it's Celtics Spurs. I want to make sure I have somebody scoring from the wing position.
That's fair.
But I don't think the Harper take is bad though. And then I think
Alan, Steph is probably being taken super, super late.
Yeah, he's not getting drafted too much.
Yeah. Look, the reality, Alan, is that like I just think that team's getting blown out tonight.
Yeah, I need to.
I spoke to a bunch of Warriors people like this week, Warriors media people, and there was a pretty firm consensus.
Yeah, it does feel like that. Also, shout out Sam, by the way. Oh, I forgot to do this. We gotta do another giveaway. And there's not a bunch of people here, so this is good news for you guys.
Should we plug the Splash Sports thing? Speaking of
that's what it's gonna be. Yeah, if you like the stream, subscribe to the channel, #Splash. That's what reminded me of it. You talking to Warriors people, and I remembered.
Yeah, well, I've been on light years quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, so
there you go.
I jumped on after that Horford game, and I was like, I told you guys how Horford would win you a playoff game.
Yeah. And what we're going to do for the Splash, I'm just going to give away $25 2 different times. So we're going to give away 2 entries into it, but you got to enter. You got to enter it on the Splash.
Shit, I entered on your end. My bad.
You what?
I just typed Splash.
Oh, that's okay. You're good. All right. We'll take Champagne with the last pick. All right. Hold on. I want to go find that
Still
one.
Logged in, damn it.
Hey, you're good, man. Oh, I think is it this one? So this is a team that I have right now. This is one of them. So if we look at this was a while back. So we had Jokic 2. So we started Jokic, Chet, Jamal Murray. All right. Jokic, Chet, Jamal Murray, followed by Tatum, White, Gordon. So we have 3 Nuggets so far. We have 2 Celtics and Tatum and White. Then we've had, I'm sorry, 3 Celtics. Kate is in there. We got a third Thunder and Caruso. Josh Hart, 1 off. Kawhi, 1 off. The Kawhi 1 off's dead. But like, again, being able to get some of these combos that just are not going to exist anymore. Let me see. There was another one. I don't know for Denver. There was one that was like,
you probably got like 4 Celtics.
Yeah, like this is SGA, J-Dub, Chet. It started SGA, J-Dub, Chet. Then it had Maxey and Embiid, which kind of sucks. LaMelo and Miller, Pritchard and Tatum. And like another one, I have a lot of, anyways, just Tatum getting him at like pick 29, like Jaylen Brown, Tatum, White, Pritchard. Anyways, just some sick stuff. But again, you also run into some errors there too, where you're like Minnesota, I didn't think was going to be the 6 seed and like have to play Denver in the first round, or like, you know, the Lakers just being dead on arrival with all the injury stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think those are the 2 things that I think are really difficult is A, figuring out how you get out of the first round when you have like Thunder Celtic stacks.
Mm-hmm. And
then B, you better hope you don't have any Lakers mixed in there too. Because otherwise,
Right. I mean, LeBron stuff I think is fine. That's still like, because if he's going to just be the big scorer for them, even if it's just 4 or 5 games. Because like we were saying, all of these series feel like they're going to be 4 or 5 games. Okay, so the way what we're doing here, also we have a contest tonight. This is not the one that we're looking at tonight. We've got 100-person 3-entry max, $10 entry, but this one's $25. All right, this is a $25 contest. And if you look at the details here, we're guaranteed a $10,000 $10,000 prize pool. And then again, pretty flat, $1,500 for first, $1,250 for second, third for first. Normally there's like a 50% cut from first to second. So it'd be like 2K to 1K. And then $750. So pretty flat payout structure. This is just for Saturday. I don't know if we can enter it yet. Can we? Oh, we can. They actually put the player pool out there. I think this is like Jokic is going to be like 92% owned of like for round 1. I mean, I guess you could make a case for LeBron. But I think I would just do Jokic here. And then you got Brunson, Harden. It's funny they got game time decisions on all of these guys. These guys are all playing. I think it's, to me, a clear one of these 3. Şengün against the Lakers is kind of interesting. But let's just assume we go Brunson now. And then we can just get a little different here. Jared Allen against Toronto, I think is like low-key kind of a smash, especially if you think he plays full minutes.
Yeah.
Rudy's going to have to be out there a lot. But those are probably my 2 favorite. Then maybe Dyson Daniels. I don't know.
Any of it.
Yeah. Then we got IQ's dinged up. Reed Shepard. No thank you on DeAndre Ayton or Rui. Io. I don't know.
I like Cam Johnson here.
Yeah, I like Cam Johnson, or honestly Luke Kennard too.
Luke Kennard's actually a great play.
Yeah, I like. I'm gonna go with Cam Johnson for now, but Luke Kennard I think is like pretty sharp. Sam Merrill, Bruce Brown, Jamal Shed. If IQ gets ruled out, by the way, Jamal Shed, awesome
monster play.
LaRavia should be playing a lot. Bruce Brown, we know playoff Bruce Brown. And then
what about Mitch Rob?
Oh, yeah.
It's an undersized Atlanta team.
Yep, Mitch Rob's great. And then you get Timmy. That's probably my favorite right now. Colin Murray Boyle's pretty exciting too. And then you called out Bones earlier. I think that's kind of interesting.
Schroeder against Toronto actually isn't a bad play because despite the fact that he can't shoot, his ability to create against that Toronto defense, I think, could be fun.
Yeah, I think so. Power Duster said his splash still just Z and Stubbs passing money between each other. I did take it down again the other night. So it is kind of, yeah. I also, another shout here. If you think Kuminga is going to get snubbed here in this postseason run, Mo Gay. They really like Mo Gay. I think that's kind of fun. All right, we'll throw Schroeder in there for now. But anyways, yeah, so we're going to give away 2 different entries to this. I think you do have to be in the United States to win this. Or Canada. Canada's fine too. But yeah, so we'll last call, like the stream, subscribe, #splash. Mike, what are you up to this weekend? Anything fun?
Honestly, not much.
No?
Working more than anything else, but it is what it is.
I got you, man. I got you. All right, let's spin this bad boy. Again, doing it twice. We're doing it twice. So 50 USD out of my pocket to you guys. and 1 out of 10. That's pretty fun. With one of them being.
And you also have like a 50% chance to double that free money.
That's right.
Based on who's entered already.
That's right. Matty Harrison. Wow. The rich get richer, bro.
Wow.
The rich get richer. That's one of them. That's one of them. Matty, just shoot me a DM and I'll send it to you. And then we'll just spin it one more time. Let's see.
I bet it'd be Allen.
There we go. Drew.
Oh, Drew.
Let's go. Big dubs. Big dubs. All right, guys. Just shoot me some DMs here, and I'll get that to you tonight so that you can enter.
You got anything going on this weekend?
Softball tomorrow, and then just watching basketball. We're gonna be locked in. We're gonna watch a lot of hoops this weekend. So,
are you doing a lot of underdog daily drafts this weekend, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I will be. I just was doing some for tonight before the show started. But yeah, I'll be doing a ton. I don't think they've posted the contest yet. I think they will tonight right after the slate starts is my guess. That's when they'll post it. The bracket challenge thing is so dumb. I mean, like we can, and I also think you can only do it on mobile, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you can only do it on mobile.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bracket challenge was kind of boring. Yeah, sorry, Consigliere. But anyways, let's so I'm just gonna watch basketball, do some drafts in the morning, play some softball. That's kind of it. That's kind of it. Low key weekend this weekend. All right, let's call it there. Weisberg, thank you for hanging. Shout out to SlimFish. If you're not in the Digital Dugout, go check that out. Good luck this weekend. Enjoy the hoops. We out.
Peace.